There's certainly more than one way to write an algorithm for the Pennies project in Chapter 3, but one method might be to define variables to hold each of the monetary amounts. A variable for dollars, a variable for quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies. Note they're all integers, whole numbers. Take whatever the user types into the text box, parse it, and store it in the variable for pennies. Then take those pennies, divide by 100, and that's how many dollars you have. The remainder goes back into the pennies variable. So they did that by taking whatever's currently in pennies, in other words, what the user typed in the text box, subtracting from it the value that's now in the int dollars times 100. So you're subtracting the dollars from the pennies, reassigning that to pennies. Now you have in pennies what's left over after you calculated the dollars. You'd use the same logic for quarters, except this time you take what's currently in pennies and divide by 25, and that gets stored in int quarters. And you reassign to pennies whatever was in pennies, and then minus whatever's in quarters times 25. Again, you use the same logic for dimes, nickels, and then obviously what's left over is pennies. Now, to display your calculated amounts in the labels, we have to convert those integers into strings. So you can use the convert class toString method to convert whatever's in int dollars to a string, and you're going to store that in the label for the dollars. Remember to store it in the text property. You'll do the same thing for each of the monetary variables.